Hey beauties, is Winnie here again in another video. I made Iro and Buba with Loom Ashoke for my daughter's birthday, and I filmed a tutorial on how to make the Iro and Buba. So if you would love to make Iro and Buba for a 1-year-old child and you don't know how to go about it, this video is for you. So if this is what you are interested in, definitely keep on watching. Like my videos, share with your family and friends, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out anytime I upload a new video. This video is step by step, it is beginner friendly, so without too much talking, let's get to the honey of the video. Let's go. I love you. Hey beauty, welcome to my channel. So this is Loom Ashoke, you guys. It's a type of Ashoke that brides use. It does not need to be joined. It's already weaved widely so that you can work with it. You can also work with the Ashoke that you would join first. So after joining, you can then start to work with the measurements that I'm going to be teaching you in this video. So first off, I folded my fabric into two, and then I measured a width of 20 inches. So that's going to be the width of my Iro. So 20 inches of fold. So by the time I opened it up, it's going to give me a wide 40 inches, and the length that I worked with here was 25 inches. I didn't cut the ashoke at all for the length. You can make yours shorter if you want, but I'm doing this because I want to fold it at the top part, because I want it to I want to be able to lose it. So I want to fold it at the top part very big, so that I want to be able to lose it when she's growing, so that she can wear it a bit longer. But if you don't want it to be like that, you can just deduct about 5 inches from that 25 inches. So for the buba, what you're just going to do is that you're going to measure from the nape of your neck to 3 inches after the shoulder. All right, if it were to be an adult, it's going to be 4 inches, but because she's a baby, so I'm just going to measure from the nape of her neck, and then I'm going to count 3 inches downwards. And then I'm also measuring the length of the buba, how long I want her to be. Don't mind that, she's very playful. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to fold my fabric into two. So where I'm folding right now is going to be the length. All right, so this part is where we are measuring the length of the buba. So I'm measuring the length now. So the length is going to be the part that is going to be towards the side that I'm measuring now. All right, so that's going to be the length of the buba. So you're going to measure the length and you add the allowance that you want. As for me, I added 1.5 inches allowance to it for folding, and then after that you're going to flip it over like this, just as we fold our peplon. So it's going to be folded into 4. That is how Iro and Buba is made. All right, so the measurements that you measured from the nape of our neck to 3 inches after our shoulder, that's what you are going to measure here now, and then you are going to chalk it all the way down, and you are going to cut it out. All right, so you are going to measure the measurement you got, the one that we measured from the nape of our neck to 3 inches after our shoulder. So after measuring that, you are going to cut it out. So this is how Iro and Buba is made for kids. All right, so this one I'm going to use it for my rope, so I'm just going to set it aside. Probably I'll use it for the rope of the rope, so I'm just going to set it aside. So now for the neckline, you have to do 2.5 inches width and 2.5 inches depth. All right, at first I did 2.5 inches width and 2 inches depth because I didn't want it to be too wide. All right, this was what I did at first, but by the time I put it on her head, it was too tight, it was not entering, so I had to cut it again. So this is how it's going to be looking. So I put it on the head at that point, and I realized that it was too tight for her. So I would advise that you use 2.5 inches width by 2.5 inches depth. That is going to be just perfect. All right, so you use 2.5 inches width and 2.5 inches depth for your buba neckline, so it will make it wider and more comfortable for her to wear. All right, so once I was done, this is it. I put it on her and it entered just fine. All right, so we are done. So once we are done, we are just going to set this aside, and then we are going to cut the sleeve. All right, so the neckline, we are just going to use bias to tape the neckline. So I'm measuring out the sleeve now. I want it to be as long as possible, so I want it to get to our wrist. All right, because I want it to be a normal buba kind of sleeve. So I'm folding a part of my ashoke now, and then I'm going to measure the width that I want. All right, so I'm just determining how wide I want my buba hand to be, and then I measured out the length also, my desired length. All right, so that's the for the width. You can reduce it to how you want it to be if you don't want it to be too wide, but keep it in mind that buba sleeve is always wide. All right, so it has to be wide, but it shouldn't be too wide. So this is your call. All right, anyhow you want it to be, it's your call. Just decide how wide you want it to be. All right, and then we are going to, so I'm opening up this part because it's supposed to be two sleeves, right? So one on the right side and one on the left side, and then I'm folding it into two, and I'm going to place a notch at that side because it's going to guide us on our sewing. So I picked the buba also, and then I'm going to be placing a notch at the shoulder area. Don't forget that I've added my allowance to the sleeve also for folding. So this is the one I want to use for the belt for the hero. So I'm just going to, I didn't measure this actually, so you can just eyeball how you want it to be. So I think it was about 4 inches wide. All right, so and then I just measured half of that at that side, and then I slanted it towards the end. So that is for the rope. All right, so I'm gonna have to sew it. I've turned it inside out, and I'm just going to be tucking this part inside. All right, so that everything can be neat and fresh. And then as you can see, I'm gonna have to also sew my sleeve. I folded my sleeve with about 1.5 inches allowance. So I folded my sleeve with about 1.5 inches allowance. All right, so the next thing, and I've also used my bias to tape the neckline of the buba. So the next thing is to match up the notched area of the buba and the sleeve, and then I'm just going to sew it with a straight line, just like that on both sides. And once that is done, this is how it should be looking like. So you are going to flip it over like this, and then you are going to stitch it on the sides with about 1 inch allowance. Just sew it like that, and then you are going to leave about 4 inches here for the slit. All right, so I'm gonna head to do that, and I've left the slit opening also. So I've later used, okay, I used 4 inches still. So I'm just going to fold it like this on the side, and then I'm going to fold it to the other side also. So I'm going to do that on the other side also, and I'm going to end the down part. So I'm gonna have to do all of that, and this is how my row is looking at this point. It is as simple as that. The only thing you need to do next is to give it a very good press, and you can go ahead and weave it. I weaved this one because I don't want it to be fraying, and then you give it a very very nice press. All right, so back to the hero. Like I told you earlier, I wanted to fold the top part, so I wanted to fold a chunky part at the top because I wanted her to be able to, lose it and wear it later. So I folded 5 inches in, and the remaining full length of the actual game was 20 inches. I told you earlier that you can reduce the length if you want, but I want to be able to lose this up and open it up for her by the time she's grown. So I'm going to stitch it down, and then at the side I'm going to also fold the two sides with about 2 inches seam allowance. All right, so I'm going to fold the side with 2 inches, and I'm also going to fold the other side with 2 inches seam allowance. So once I was done sewing all of that, the next thing is to attach the belt. I've already done it to one side, so for the other side I'm just going to place the um part that is, that has joint is going to be on the wrong side. So you are going to place it right side facing right side, and then you are just going to stitch it down. It's as simple as that. There is nothing difficult about it. So that is basically how to make a Buba for a 1 year old. This was the final look of my daughter. It was so beautiful, and I really really loved it. So if this video was helpful, let me know in the comment section, and you can drop your questions and thoughts in the comment section also, because I would love to hear from you. Give it a like, share with your family and friends. Until I see you in the next one, I love you and I care. Bye.